A couple of years ago, I found myself wanting to spend more time outside. I think this first showed up in short trips, short day hikes with a family, and later with camping trips, reserving spots, and this got me accustomed to sleeping on the ground, setting up tents, and setting my mindset to uh, experiencing just joy with less. James, tell us what you're doing.
I am, dropping my valve cap. I am right now taking on air on my tires, so
Nice.
make it a little more plush and a little more traction.
All right. After this experience camping, I slid into backpacking, and that was an altogether new experience, but a really enjoyable one. I loved being able to carry everything I needed on my back, and to really get into the backcountry was really awesome. One of my friends, James, came along for the ride, as well as our other friends Charlie and Lou, and I think that this kind of lit a fire under James, and he went on his own direction and combined backpacking with cycling, and that's kind of what brings us to this video, which is James invited me to go on an adventure to do a Santa Monica overnighter. It starts in downtown Santa Monica, loops all the way through Topanga Canyon and back down into the city. All in all, it's about 35 miles and a little under 5,000 feet of combined elevation gain. So I wasn't under any illusion that it would be easy. So I trained, and I had no idea how hard it was going to be. The climbs were grueling, and there was a lot of just walking the bike up hills that I thought that I should be able to get up, but just I was running out of gas. Both James and I vastly underestimated the amount of calories needed to cycle for an extended period of time, and especially with the added elevation gain, it was pretty rough. So there was a lot of cramps, and there was a lot of unforeseen hike-a-bike sections, notably this really narrow passage that had just bare branches reaching out and scratching the legs, and I'm still healing from those. But the awesome part was these views that we had, and one phrase that sticks in my head is that the views that you earn are the most appreciated, and that's why going on these trips is so special, because it's not just looking at an image of something or whatever the wallpaper is on your desktop. It's actually having to get to these views, climb up these mountains, or bike up these mountains to get these vistas. So there's these amazing green fields and this red dirt that was pretty awesome, and it was awesome. It was definitely a suffer fest, but it was well worth it. I loved getting to camp. Once we got to camp, it was pretty much just backpacking, unloading everything, and having a meal out of a bag, but that was still awesome. And then it was biking back down the hill. The descents were phenomenal. I popped a tire in one of the descents, but thankfully James brought everything. He brought a full bike mechanics tool set, so we were able to take care of that and swap in a new tube, and it didn't ruin the trip, so I was really grateful for that. I guess that brings me to this other thought that I had. bikepacking is kind of this paradox because we try to get out in nature to do more with less, but I think part of bikepacking is stuff, gear, bikes, bike maintenance, bike bags, but it really is I think it's a great trade-off. It's a necessary evil to think about the gear, as long as it doesn't get in the way of the experience. And thankfully, James had plenty of extra bikepacking gear to loan me, so I was not for want of any storage. There were a lot of lessons learned. I think the first and the most obvious one is when you're on the struggle bus, it's really easy to just look 6 feet in front of you and not take in those views. And because of my poor conditioning, that's where I was, maybe for 60-70% of the ride. So if I were to do this again, I would want to force myself to take more breaks and to look around and appreciate the views. The others, bring more calories. I did not bring enough food. I don't think James did either. We did not anticipate the amount of calories that we'd burn on a long day's riding. And yeah, so it was an awesome experience, and I'm looking forward to the next one.